Welcome, Polar Bears, to the first ever DG Studio 77 Polecast, which is a podcast all about pole dance. And today we have the incredible Georgette Damian with us. She's going to be telling us all about her journey. She came from the world of finance and has been doing pole for 4 years. She left that finance world behind her and is on the path to great new things, helping people, coaching them so that they can find themselves and be part of this, how do you say it?
Of this beautiful human experience, living their best life through their authenticity and their flow.
I love that.
Yeah.
So allowing us to release and transform into who we're meant to be.
Exactly.
I love this.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have some fun.
Yeah.
We are. Today is Lionsgate.
Lionsgate portal.
What is that?
Powerful manifestation portal, because you have the power of 3 8s aligned, so it's 8 8, and 2024 happens to sum up to 8. So in numerology, 8 is a number that is associated with prosperity, with personal power, with manifestation. So anything that you have the intention to bring forth into the material world, this is a perfect day to do it.
And 8 is kind of like it's an infinity as well, right?
It's an infinity symbol, yeah. Because this is the time where I think it's Orion, the constellation Orion. What is aligned to Orion? I'm not an astrologer, so that's the disclaimer. But it's these energies of the planets when they align in a certain way that enhance our ability to manifest. Because we're all energy, so the way that the planets are placed, the way that the stars are placed, they influence our lives and they influence our energy. So we should take advantage of this powerful manifestation portal because it's Lionsgate and it's our first.
Yes. DG
Studio
Studio
77
Pole podcast.
Pole podcast.
Yeah.
Pole and manifestation. So
yes.
That's how I manifested this studio actually. That's how I manifested pole in my life.
Oh, I love that. So yeah, so Georgette, let me know a little bit, about you, about what brought you here.
My story with pole, I think again, going back to manifestation, if I think about when it really started, it was about 6 years ago when I started thinking about giving another sport a chance.
Okay.
Because at the time I was doing yoga, I had been doing Bikram yoga, like this series of hot yoga at 42 degrees Celsius. I practiced Bikram yoga for 5 years straight, started in 2015, up until 2020 when all the lockdowns started.
Okay.
And I was doing yoga maybe 5-6 times a week.
Okay.
So very, very like regimented. It was my outlet. Because at the time I was working a corporate job and it was in finance, and so it was stressful, and the way that my outlet for that stress was going to yoga, and it was going and sweating it all out. So no matter how stressed I was, every time I came out of that hot yoga studio, all my worries, all my anxiety melted away. Literally it melted. And then the lockdowns happened. So I didn't have an outlet for that stress to go out, especially when we were locked away and there was no gyms, nothing. And as I had said, I had started thinking about pole even before the lockdowns.
What made you think about it?
It was I think something inside of me. I think it was, now that I think about it in my journey, it was my intuition. It was my feminine wanting to be expressed. Because for those of you who are familiar with Bikram yoga, it's a very strict series, it's very regimented, it's great discipline, but it's like very rigorous, which is more masculine. And I think my feminine essence wanted to come out. And I happened to come across pole dancing, the announcement that you put on the outside of the metro.
Yes.
In one of those occasions that I was coming back from yoga, and I saw the announcement, and I saw pole classes, and I wrote down the number, but I didn't call back then because I had my yoga. I was managing the studio's social media in exchange for classes, so I was like in my comfort zone. So I was like, put it off.
Yes, which is fair. It wasn't the time.
Exactly, it wasn't the time, but I kept the phone number. And then the lockdowns happened, the yoga studio closed, and I hoped that they would open again, which they did, but for a couple of weeks, because you remember like how the lockdowns happened in March, and then they opened everything again up in the summer, and then they closed it again in the fall.
Yes.
So it was in that second wave of lockdowns, that the yoga studio closed for good, and I was left without my outlet. So I was like, maybe this is the time that I should start pole. So that's when I called you, and like the rest is history. So we started training together.
Yeah, that's it. We were actually doing private, so we were able to do private still in the studio, just one-on-one.
Yeah.
And we were able to keep it going like that.
Yeah, in November.
And welcome you in.
Yeah, in November of 2020.
Wow.
Actually. Yeah, November 2020.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Yeah, 2020.
That was it. Yeah.
That was it. Oh my God.
So long ago. It's already been 4 years. Can you believe it?
I know. And yeah, and it's been inconsistent for me because of a series of personal things that I've had to deal with, that I haven't been consistently doing pole for 4 years, but since I picked up this discipline, I'm in my 4th year.
Yeah, and I mean for myself as well, and I think a lot of people can relate to that in their pole journey, that it's not like you start pole and you're just doing pole all the time and the years pass and you're just advancing, although some people are in that boat. I know for myself, when I started, it was something I felt a passion for very quickly, but you know, I had so many things going on and life gets in the way that it would sometimes fall by the wayside and come back, fall by the wayside and come back. But there's always something that I found pulls me back in. And the more I go deeper into it, as years go, because I've been doing pole for 15 years, so in all of that time, as I go deeper and deeper, I feel like I have more of an urge and more of a push to train harder and push myself more. Not necessarily to do things that are dangerous, but just to take my practice more seriously as much as I can. But you've always been a student who really takes their practice seriously, except when you physically cannot be present.
Yeah, because what she's referring to is that I had among those setbacks, I had a work accident last year where I literally sliced my hand, so I needed hand surgery, not even stitches.
Yeah, mention what happened, how that happened.
So I was doing a part-time gig, doing events. So long story short, I was going to wash glasses, and that big pile of glasses fell on the floor, and I fell on top of it. And one glass that was already shattered really caught into my hand.
Oh,
and it's
just thinking about it.
Yeah, and what did the surgeon said? She said that it shredded my nerves. Yeah, that was the word, shredded. And yeah, and the cut was so deep that I couldn't even open jars, so let alone grab this. So I had to stop my pole practice for a good 8 months. Yeah.
I remember you sent me a picture of it. Maybe you can send me that picture and I'll
I'll send her the picture.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer, it's kind of graphic.
It really looks
Frankenstein stitches.
Just stitched up and wow. It's amazing that, how long ago did that happen? You said a year?
A year, yeah, end of June.
And in a year, look at you, now you're back at it full force.
Yeah.
Doing things you couldn't even do back then.
Back then, like even stronger, because what Sarah was saying, that it's that pull that you get. It's kind of like the pole is calling you. And I literally, when I came back and I hugged the pole again, I was like, I'm home.
Yes, that's it.
Because it's I don't know, either you love it, or from my experience of people that I talked to that have started this practice, either you love it or you don't. It's not, I haven't met someone who is kind of like in the middle.
Yeah.
It's either you pick it up from the beginning or you just leave it alone. And since day one, since the moment I walked into the studio and I felt the pole, I was like, yes, this is something that I'm not meant to do. I don't want to leave this.
Yes. Or
yeah. Even with the setbacks and everything, there's, like you said, there's always something calling me back, pulling me in, and
pulling you in.
Pulling me in. Yeah, exactly. So that's how I came back now this time, because I took this time to recover and start strength training at the gym, which I didn't do before. And I already did yoga, so flexibility, strength. And I don't like the gym, you guys. Like I don't know.
I mean, most people don't love just doing reps and sets, but it's the results, you know. The results you get is what really fuels you to keep going.
So what fuels me is that I know that the gym is going to improve my pole practice, so that's why I go. That's why I go thinking about this, not even about the gym, but like thinking about this. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it for pole.
Yes.
And then I don't know, it's like a fun workout. It really is, because once you get into the studio, you dance, you let yourself flow, you're in flow. You let your body just move through the music, and it's, I don't know, it's kind of like the analytical mind, at least in my case, because I'm very analytical, I'm a Virgo, and I have a background in Virgo sister, so I have a background also in finance, so it's always been dominant. My left brain, my analytical, logical brain has always been dominant. And I think that's why I connected so much with pole, because it's so creative and it's so, you're in such flow that you just feel and just let the analytical mind on the side, and like this creative, expressive side of myself comes out. And I feel in flow. I feel connected to my body. I feel connected to my feminine essence, something that I didn't have with previous practices in the past or any previous sports that I practiced, because growing up I did everything, soccer. Figure skating was kind of like the closest thing that I could get to pole, but like this is a whole new level of connecting me to my femininity, because figure skating still had an element of athleticism to it. It was like artistic, but not as sensual.
That's pole is very sensual. It can be anyway. If you want to go down that path, you can definitely play with the sensuality aspect a lot deeper, I find, in pole dance than in figure skating. I mean, I guess you could, but you don't really see that. It's a lot more. It's more common in pole.
Yeah, and in figure skating, like you wear like your nice dresses, and it's very formal. It's like a kind of ballet on skates.
Yes, formal is a good word.
Formal, but here it's like you are more naked in a way.
Informal.
Because you need, like, people ask, why do you need to do pole without clothes? Well, because if you don't, then you fall, because you need grip.
Literally,
we need to be like, we need skin to the pole, otherwise you feel you slip.
The more skin, the better.
The more skin, the better. So you have to have the skin on touching the pole, so it's more connecting you to your body, more. Yeah, like you bare your soul, and you bare your skin, and you bare all those parts of yourself that you were just pushing down, and oh no, like it's shameful, or I shouldn't be. Because I remember when I started doing pole, I was shy. I was afraid to even like twitch my hair like this, and I'm like, no, why? It's my hair, it's my body, it's my expression. So I think that's what I want to get to. That pole gave me the permission to be more of me, that part of me that I didn't know I had, that I discovered by letting myself twirl around this.
Yeah, something so simple, so profound, right?
Yeah, exactly.
If you could go back to when you were first starting, maybe even before your first class, what advice would you have given yourself?
I think intuitively I did give it to myself, because even before the first class, I approached it with a beginner's mind. Beginner's mindset, and I said to myself, no expectations.
No expectations. Okay.
Because mind you, when I started this, I was 37 years old, so I was not in my 20s.
What do you mean? You look like you're 18.
But it's like, I don't know. I think the younger you are, or the easier it is for you to be flexible or stronger or have more energy. I mean, it's still how do you say, like a extreme sport?
Yeah, I would definitely consider it
extreme. Yeah. So maybe you don't have the same reflexes that you had when you were 20. In theory, although I must say that the older I got, the more discipline I got in every aspect of my life, and I have even more energy now than I used to have in my 20s.
Yeah, I have to say I'm in the same boat there.
Because you get more, like you become more educated, more aware, more conscious, but still there is that physical aspect, right? That it's easier when I guess you're in your 20s to do it, but at the age that I picked this sport up, I was 37, and I said, you know what, I'm not even in my early 30s, so I'm gonna approach this as it comes.
Yeah.
So let me be surprised, or let me be introduced to whatever it is that I need to learn, one class at a time. And I think that's what helped me improve my practice, just to come and allow myself to just be and enjoy, have fun. Like that's two things. Approach it with a beginner's mindset, no expectations, and having fun. Three things. Those three things were crucial for me to be able to advance so quickly, because I think even a month in, I was already doing inverts.
Yeah.
And
Fast
learner. So also another thing that I think helped was my yoga practice that I had from because I've always been disciplined in that sense of having a sport, pursuing a sport. So I think that also helps. But yeah, like mindset is key, and that physical practice that I also had before was what really helped me, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. And is there anything that you think would make your average person, like you said, people are love it or hate it, so what are the aspects of it that you think would make your average person be like, no, this is not for me?
From the people that I've talked to, I think what they say didn't click for them is that one told me, oh no, it's just like I get bruises.
Yeah, the pain factor.
The pain factor. Yeah, but
so it's true. A lot of people don't realize that it is actually quite a painful experience, or it can be. Actually, I think for around the world, for everyone who tries pole, they do have to deal with a certain amount of pain, right?
Yeah.
No pain, you don't realize. Yeah, you don't realize coming into it.
Oh yeah, that's one thing. But also, it's normal. Like when I started pole, I used to get all my legs were bruised, but the skin gets used to it. Like you literally develop thick skin. Like the skin condition.
It doesn't feel gross though or anything.
No,
so it
no.
feels nice, except for maybe the hands a little bit callousy.
Yeah, the hands. Yeah, but
I do get some calluses.
but you get that with gymnastics, with other sports that involve grip, right?
Yes.
Calisthenics, I guess, as well.
But there's no calluses on our thighs or anything.
No,
nice.
No, it's just like I think I bruised a couple months, and then after it was fine. I never got another bruise unless I tried a new move.
No bruise, exactly.
A new move.
No bruise.
No bruise, but you get used to it, and then at one point you don't even feel the pain. And I think that's a factor that also plays into the mindset, because it's how much can you tolerate, how much discomfort, not even pain, and how much discomfort can you tolerate, how mentally strong you are.
Yes.
And if you are willing to push through the pain, push through the discomfort for the thing that you really love or that you really want. And I guess that for people who it doesn't click as much, they're not willing to push past that discomfort, push past that pain, because it's not really calling them so much. But for me, from the beginning, I knew that, yeah, I want to pursue this. This is like something that I love, that this is something that I don't care if I get bruised. This is something that I want to do in the long run.
So you knew, yeah,
I knew
right away.
I knew right away from day one. Even you remember that on class 3, I kind of broke one of my toes.
Oh yeah, tell the story.
Oh my god. I was because I was in my head at that time. I broke my promise to myself of having fun and not having expectations, and we were trying a fan kick, and you move on, which like I needed to split my legs, but I needed to gain momentum. With a kick, and then in one of the kicks, I was thinking, I was getting into my head, and I was thinking, oh my god, I'm too old for this. Like, why did I wait so long to take up this sport? I'm not flexible, blah blah blah. And then I wasn't paying attention, and I kicked like right on the pole. And the moment I kicked, my toe opened like this. So yeah, so it was like, I don't know if it was a fracture or like something else, but I stopped coming for a month.
Yeah, while you recovered.
Yeah, and then but when I came back, it was like super fast.
As if you didn't miss a beat.
Yeah, exactly. But it was like that commitment that I knew that I wanted to come back, and while I was out, I was having this dialogue with myself saying, okay, you got injured because you were in your head, you got injured because you were berating and bashing yourself and thinking that you were too old or whatever. And then after that, I just dropped that. And also, I'm grateful for that experience because after that, I gained a lot of respect for the sport. And I said, I'm not going to do a move if it feels too dangerous or if I feel that I'm slipping.
Yes.
And I'm going to breathe through every move. And I think that's the main thing that has prevented me from having any falls or any injuries, because
yes, you take it
not
super seriously.
Yeah. I've never had an injury.
Because it could have been much worse if it was, something from an invert, from a shoulder
exactly,
not falling.
Yeah. So after that first approach of like having the toe fracture or whatever, I don't know if it was a fracture, but it was a pretty bad thing. After that, every new move that you taught me, I approach it with extreme care and breathing through it and really being thoughtful of where's my bum, where's my hand, where's everything
Where's everything in this space. Yeah.
So every
time this is hard. This is a hard object.
Yeah. So every time we do or you taught me a new move, I was like very mindful of where every part of my body was. And I think that's also something that helped me advance quickly because I was present with my body in every single move and in every single thing. And that helped me assess the danger of like, okay, no, now I'm sleeping. And I'm like, okay. And then if I feel like I'm sleeping, I'm like, Sarah, come!
Yeah.
So yeah, I never push it beyond, like just to show off or like whatever. I'm like, no.
Yeah, crash mats and spotters. Crash mats and spotters. Very important.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about a little bit more controversial side of pole. Have you ever had experiences with anyone giving you negative feedback or comments, taboo around the subject?
Yeah.
How do you navigate that?
Yeah, all the time. I'm like, do you strip? I'm like, oh my god, do you know that this is also a sport? And even if I strip, I do it with dignity. You can do anything you want as long as you do it with integrity. As long as it's aligned with your values, as long as you're not hurting anyone, you can do whatever you want. You're not harming anyone. For the women or men who strip or who do this for a living, hats off, and my respect for you, because it's something you chose consciously, and it's something that if you're doing in integrity and you're not harming anyone, you don't need to be judged, or nobody needs to judge you for that, because it's something you chose. And in our case, it's our sport. It's someone who just comes and judges you or emits a judgment without knowing what it is about. It's a reflection of their level of consciousness and their level of maturity and how informed they are. Like, how can you come and emit a judgment about something that you don't even know about? Know nothing about. If you don't know what pole is, and you come and tell me this and that, yeah, but like, do you even know what we do in a class? Do you even know? So I don't really take those types of comments personal. I don't take anything personally. Everything that I've learned in my journey, inside and outside the studio, it's don't take things personal.
Yes.
People always project whatever from their past experiences, from their past trauma, from their own mindset. So as long as it makes you happy, who cares what other people think? That's basically what I wanted to say.
So that's the approach you take to it, if anybody says anything. Have you had people commenting online or more face-to-face interaction?
I think it's easier to comment online because it brings the anonymity, right? Or not so much commenting negatively online, but if I post a video of myself on the pole and I have like, this man, oh, like you look so hot or whatever, and like people who I don't even know, block right away. Like right away I just block. I don't even give them like the outlet, because friends who are doing it, you can feel the energy when someone is saying something like, oh, you look beautiful, but as a compliment, as opposed
versus objectifying you.
Yeah, exactly. So those comments objectifying me, I'm like, yeah, no room for this. Block, immediate block.
So this way you can kind of create a filter system so that you're not bombarded by unwanted energy or
exactly
messages from people.
Yeah, it's protecting your space and having like super tight boundaries. Yeah.
Do you ever think that if you were to get into a relationship with someone who had a problem with you doing pole, how would you navigate that?
That's a filter. Actually,
right there.
It's so funny that you asked, because the other day I was writing a list of the things that are non-negotiable in my ideal partner. And one of the things I wrote down was like, he has to be okay with me doing this.
Oh, wow.
So, and that's a non-negotiable.
Amazing.
So if he has an issue with me coming to my studio, coming to my pole classes, doing my shows, and posting my videos of my new moves online on my social media, if he has an issue with that, sorry, but you're not my guy.
I love that.
So yeah.
You also mentioned earlier that you're reading a book that's written by a pole dancer. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're reading?
Oh yeah, she's her name is Kelly Brogan. She's an MD, and she's a holistic psychiatrist. So she's trained white coat, Ivy League trained doctor, and she started doing her pole journey around the same time as I did, and she started getting a lot of hate also when she posted her videos. The first video she posted of her doing pole dance, like just what we do here at the studio, she got a lot of hate, and people saying that she was in her midlife crisis, like how dare she, like that's the thing, like as us as women, like how dare we become more embodied in our feminine, how dare we defy the patriarchal way of how a woman should woman.
That's so funny.
So that's what she said, like, nobody has a right to tell me how to woman. Woman as a verb.
Yes.
Right? And I love that from her. It's like, who knows how my feminine needs to be expressed. For some women, it's their feminine art is expressed by taking care of their kids, by being in the kitchen, by unleashing their creativity in art. This is a form of art.
Of course.
So, and for me, like moving the body is something that also helps me process a lot of emotions. And this is therapy. Like this is therapy for me. So
me too.
yeah.
100%.
So nobody gets to tell you what a woman should act like, look like, or what hobbies should a woman have. And but you know what? Like once she started becoming public and losing or she stopped wearing the mask of the MD, the white coat, always serious woman, and she allowed herself to be more of her. The right people came into her audience. She attracted the right people. Her social media blew up, and now she's running programs where she teaches women how to become empowered, in the sense of not how the Western society teaches us, feminism teaches us that empowerment should look like, but like really empowered from within. It's like creating that sense of safety from within. Am I feeling safe? Am I safe to feel? Am I safe to express myself? So she talks about creating those containers for you in order for you to be able to express and to be okay with those people who are throwing hate at you, and just letting like that hate slip away.
Okay.
So
very interesting.
Yeah. So she she gave herself the permission to be authentic, and by setting the example and being a trailblazer, she gives the rest of us permission to do the same, especially women who come from a more serious background like I do.
Yes.
Like I have an MBA and I was in finance and like this economics major and whatever. I'm like supposed to be professional. This is who I am. If you like it, fine. If you don't, fine. The right people will be in my life, and the wrong people will just fall off with those filters right away.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
And you are also a published author.
I am.
Do you see yourself in the future writing about pole in any way?
Oh my God, yes. Yes, for sure, because it's part of my life. It's part of my passions, and I want to share my passions with the world, and one of my passions is pole. So of course I'm going to incorporate that in my life story, because it has had a lot of it has been a catalyst for me to embody more of my feminine, which I was afraid, I guess, to explore. Like I said, when I started this whole journey, I was super shy to even touch my body, and it's your body, it's my body. Like,
you wouldn't believe how common that is.
Right? Yeah. It's like, okay, touch your boobs and touch your
yeah.
like,
what?
Wow. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm spanking myself.
Yeah.
Because it's so natural. Like, it's nothing that women should be ashamed of, because it's something that it was just given to us. It's a gift from the divine, from God, whatever you want to call that higher power. It's something that we are gifted to experience in this lifetime. While we're incarnated in this physical body, everything is sensual. Everything is sensual, meaning the five senses, right? Everything is smell. You experience life through smell, through touch, through taste, through sight.
Yes.
So this is part of that sense, right? Like, this is the touch, the music, the hearing, the seeing. Like, it visually is very aesthetic. When I find a pole dancer that just flows and does her choreography beautifully, it's just like I'm hypnotized. And it's not because I lost after her, but it's because I find her art. I can see her art, or their art, because they're male pole dancers as well. And it's such a beautiful sport, I find. Gives us permission to experience that another side of our human side, another side of this incarnation, if you will. So, yeah.
Do you see yourself one day teaching?
I do, but not so much in the technical side. What I want to teach is use pole as a tool for healing.
Yes. So maybe more collaboratively?
Collaboratively, but also using pole as a somatic tool. Like, what does somatic mean? Somatic means like soma, the body, right?
Yes.
So as a tool to help women release trauma. So using pole as a healing tool.
How would you envision that?
Kind of like how it helped me be more in touch with that feminine side of myself.
Okay.
And how it was a catalyst for me to come home to my own body. Helping women come to their own bodies using this. So if they're holding any shame, or if they're holding any, like, I know probably sexual trauma would be one of the big ones. Seeing pole as like that masculine representation of the thing that they're afraid of.
So something they can overcome.
Overcome, yeah. Because if we look at the shape of the pole, it's phallic, right? Like, it's like it's like a penis. Like I'm grabbing a penis.
It's a big one.
It's like a penis. But if you look at it from that perspective of, this is not here to harm me, but this is here to empower me. This is here to heal me. And I think if we take that approach with the masculine side of ourselves as well, because we have masculine and feminine polarities inside of us, and also the masculine without the men in our lives, and we look at it at men as not as a tool, but like as a what's the word I'm looking for? As support mechanism for us to heal also. I think it could be a wonderful tool for us to come together, as to unite the feminine and the masculine within, and also to heal our relationship with the masculine without, using this as a representation of that masculine, and approaching it with curiosity and not being afraid of it, but embracing it, like literally using it as an outlet for everything that we're holding in, that we don't allow ourselves to be seen.
Okay.
To give ourselves permission to be seen. That's what I meant.
And can you talk a little bit about what you do and your coaching business?
What I do is I give people a safe space for them to feel all the emotions that they have repressed for a very long time. Because sometimes these emotions can be overwhelming, and we can feel very afraid or uncomfortable in feeling, because it's easy to feel happiness, it's easy to feel joy. Those emotions we don't have a problem with. But when it comes down to feeling sadness, to feeling grief especially, to feeling anger probably easier, but like feeling fear, sadness and grief, it's uncomfortable. Even in the body, it's like, it's uncomfortable. So if people come and they see me as a safe space for them to share and to open up, and knowing that I can hold them in their vulnerability, that is what I do.
Okay.
So help people release all that energy that has been stored in their emotional, energetic body for a long time, that in the long run can and will translate into physical ailments, allowing them to release all of that, all of the things that are no longer serving, the emotional baggage, so that they can become more of who they are, more of their authentic selves, their essence, more, stop wearing the masks. That I'm fine, everything is fine, I don't need things. No, you're vulnerable, you're a human being, you're allowed. These emotions are part of being a human.
Yes.
And the more that we normalize feeling those emotions and recognizing that they are just energy that needs to move through the body, the easier it is for us to navigate life more joyfully and more connected to who we truly are. Okay. Instead of like having the weight of wearing all these masks and feeling that burden of, oh, we need to be the perfect human being all the time. Like, there's no such thing.
I remember you were telling me about like women's circles that you're holding.
Yeah.
What do those look like with you? What is a typical experience?
So like those women's circles are a space for women to come together and share. Because sometimes even as women we carry our burdens alone, thinking that everybody else has their shit figured out. And when in reality, when you come together and you start sharing, and then you start to realize, oh, I am dealing with that same thing. Oh, I'm dealing with, like, let's say, like I'm in my early 40s, and then I start like seeing all these changes in my body, and I think I'm the only one. And then when I see someone share online that they are going through similar experiences that I am, then I'm like, oh, I don't feel so alone anymore. So imagine if that's the experience that you get, or that I get when I see someone post something or say something online. When you come together and in sisterhood and in the same physical space, real life, and you share those energies and you allow yourself to be seen by other women in your vulnerability, and know that you are not alone in your struggles and that you can share openly, that creates a container for a collective healing. And not only collectively in that circle, but also collectively in the collective of not only the women in this world, but like humanity as a whole. Okay. So as one heals, we all heal, because we're all connected in this wave of this interwoven web of consciousness, is what I mean. Yeah. So that's what my intention with these women's circles is, for us to come together in sisterhood to be able to heal and uplift each other. So kind of like how you did with me through pole. So
maybe we can incorporate pole into the women's circles.
That's what I was gonna say. Like it's
that'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a powerful healing tool.
Yeah, because here we often focus on the classes, but there is this whole healing that happens behind the scenes, but we could always bring that to the forefront too, and do, like we did a workshop here with you in the past, where it was really focused on that, combining the art of doing pole with this release and kind of coming into yourself.
Yeah, because it's a tool also that, because as like I said, energies get stored in the body when we don't allow ourselves to feel these emotions. And through pole, you move your body, right? You're moving energy, so you're allowing yourself to release things. And now that I think back through my own journey, remember when I was going through different breakups, or like you can call them breakups, and I told you I want to dance to this song. That kind of represented how I was feeling at the time.
Yes.
And just allowing myself to free flow through the song, using the pole as a tool. And after I finished the song, I felt like so light and so liberated. That's what I mean. Like this is a tool for you to release. It's a tool for emotional release. Yeah. let that energy move through you and out of you. So that's basically what pole has been for me. Yeah, a tool to how can I say, a tool to release that heavy energy, but also a tool to give a frame to the joy I feel for life in general. So like this is how the pole gives a frame to your body. It's like the pole gives a frame to my joy. When I'm feeling joyful and I want to like dance to an uplifting song, and I'm like climbing up the pole and like twirling around it, and it's like so much fun. It's like,
so you mentioned it kind of as a phallic representation. Is there any other way that you could see it metaphorically, the pole represented?
I think the pole for me, it's like you know how the caterpillar goes into a cocoon? I think the pole has been my cocoon.
Oh, I love that.
So it's,
and there is the butterfly.
like the butterfly, and there's the butterfly, there's a move called the butterfly. So for me, like it's been a cocoon for the butterfly to emerge.
Oh, I love that.
And I look back at the first videos you took of me of the first classes, and how shy I am, and like how hesitant I am to like touch myself or dare to do moves or whatever. And now that I see the evolution, and now I see like these women like climbing on the pole and like, you know, like going wild, and I'm like, yeah, that's the butterfly.
Yeah.
Started with like
metamorphosis.
The metamorphosis. That's right.
Yes. Oh, that's so beautiful. I love it. Okay, so we do have the tarot cards out. Is there one deck that spoke to you?
This one.
Yes. Okay. So let's bring it out. Here, I'll leave it to you, and feel free to shuffle as you like.
Our
logo.
Our logo.
So shuffle as you like, connect with the cards, and maybe think about today being Lionsgate. You did tell me a bit about your intentions and what you want to manifest. So maybe choosing a card and then saying what comes to mind.
Okay. I'm going to infuse them with my energy and the energy of the 888 portal of tonight. Should I choose one?
What do you think? What do you feel called to?
Okay. I feel called to choosing 3.
Beautiful. Yeah, tarot is a great tool just for getting the answers that we already know deep down intuitively, but having them be represented to us through imagery, through symbolism.
Yeah.
It came right out.
Came right out.
So go for it. Show us.
Okay.
What is the universe wanting to show you?
The first one is the Wheel of Fortune.
Okay.
Second one, the Magician.
Oh wow.
And it has an infinity symbol.
That's 8, yes.
That's 8. The 8.
Infinity symbol is there.
And then the 8 of Pentacles.
Oh, mastery.
8 of Pentacles. Okay, like you cannot make this shit up. I
Tell
swear.
me the story. What do you see?
Okay, so the first one, the Wheel of Fortune. I don't know. Should I put them up like this?
Yeah, you can. Or you can look at it. People can look it up to see what it is, the imagery, or you can explain maybe what you see in the card.
Okay, what I see in the first one, the Wheel of Fortune, I have a lion with wings in the bottom, and what it speaks to me is like life is a wheel of fortune. We're sometimes up or down.
Yes.
But one thing that is certain is that it doesn't stay the same. Whatever, if you're having a great time, enjoy it, because you don't know if tomorrow you're going to have a challenge. So make the most out of it. And if you are going through the thick of it, and if you don't see the end to your struggle, take comfort in that it's not going to last forever. And at some point you're going to move through the pain, move through the hardship, and you're going to come out of the other side, and you're going to have better times. So life is always like this wheel that is never stagnant. It's always changing. It's always changing.
Yes.
And the fact that I picked the magician second, it tells me that we have the power to alchemize whatever situation we're going through. We're the magicians of our lives.
What do you mean by that, alchemize?
Alchemize, it's like transmute whatever it is that we are experiencing. We always have the choice to bring the perspective of the magician, like the alchemist, the power to transform the pain into something beautiful, kind of like referring back to the butterfly and the metamorphosis. It's alchemy. It's the power to transform any challenge into a blessing, or even if we're going through something that is positive, alchemize it by extracting the joy and sharing it with others, like exponentiating it, if that's a word. You know, bringing it even up, uplifting.
Okay.
So yeah, that wheel of fortune, the magician is truly the observer of life. It's the person behind the experience, the person behind the emotion, because we're not our emotions. We are not, you don't say I am depressed. No, I am experiencing sadness, or I am experiencing depression. And like, that's the power of the magician, to disassociate from the emotion, to be the one experiencing it, but not the one becoming it.
Important reminder, yeah.
Yeah. And then the 8 of Pentacles, which is 8. Today is 8. And it's 8 coins, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 coins with the 5 pointed star in each one. And then you have this, what's the name of this guy who's like working through the coins?
Like the craftsman.
Like the craftsman, yeah.
Artisan.
The artisan is crafting the coins. So everything that you work towards, what you reap, you sow. What you sow, you reap.
What you reap, what you sow, you
reap
what you sow.
You reap what you sow.
Yes.
Yeah. So make sure that you are sowing and planting seeds of positivity, gratitude, because that's what you're gonna reap.
That's that, putting in the work, right?
Yeah, putting in the work.
Grinding.
The grind.
The grind.
Yeah.
That's the only way to get to mastery.
Yeah, exactly. And being disciplined. Like this tells me that there is discipline, and the discipline is not only physical. Like you come and you train, right? Like you put in the physical work. I go to the gym, I go to the yoga to do the flexibility and the strength. But it's also the mindset, right? Like the mindset and having this approach of, okay, like this move I didn't land, but I'm gonna approach it with the beginner's mindset again. Even if I've been doing this for 40 years, it's a new move, I'm gonna approach it with a beginner's mindset. Or planting seeds of gratitude, good thoughts, entertaining the thoughts that are serving me, but not the thoughts that are bringing my energy down, or bringing my vibration down, or the thoughts that are gonna make me sad or disempowered. Yeah.
Awesome.
What do you see?
Yeah.
Oh.
What? That's it. So yeah, Wheel of Fortune, allowing us kind of to take a chance, know that even though the outcome could be good or bad, I feel like with the Wheel of Fortune, especially if it's upright, I feel like it's definitely a positive omen. So this is like saying that, you know, you're gonna spin on something good is coming. So like, be ready for great things, be ready for whatever you're dreaming, which kind of works with the day that we're on, the manifestation day of Lionsgate 888. That whatever we see for ourselves for the future and whatever we're doing now is kind of those seeds that we're planting for what will come next year, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. So the fact that, for example, today we trained together, you know, this is watering those seeds, instead of, let's say, we had a shitty day and just decided to, I'm gonna stay home and sleep all day and not do anything. Well, then you're not watering those plants for that day, but although maybe you needed the rest, maybe there's something there too, but we can't always be resting. We have to be putting in the work to go towards spinning that wheel and hoping for positive outcome, being ready that sometimes it won't be what we wanted, but then we can, like you said, spin again tomorrow and see if there will be a better outcome. I do love that there is a serpent here as well, and some kind of guy with like a devilish mask. Each corner, and then there's 4 different animals. There's an eagle, a man with wings, kind of like an angel, then a bull with wings, and the lion with wings, the griffin. So all of these creatures in every corner have wings, which I think really represent this freedom within us, freedom of our soul, that no matter where this wheel lands, whatever corner it may land on, we are free to make it what we want. So although we're not in control of what's happening, we are always in control of our reaction to it, and that is our wings. That is our ability to, no matter what's going on, we can be free. We can be free within ourselves. And so I really think that's a positive omen to get the Wheel of Fortune today. And then the magician, yeah, exactly, as you were saying, you know, that we're the creator. The magician has all the tools that they need to be able to create everything that they can imagine. And in the world of tarot, those are the 4 elements, the 4 suits, the pentacles, the cups, the wands, and the swords. And the magician stands proud, you know, raising a wand in the air, knowing that the wand's representing our passions, what drive us, what we want to do, the fire within us, and knowing that I can create anything I'm passionate about, anything I dream, I can create it, I can make it happen, and I do have the tools to do so. And it's very interesting, again, there's a snake. It's a kind of similar looking snake too, represented here a second time. And the serpent can often be a scary symbol. Like people have a lot of fear around serpent energy, but I think it's a very beautiful animal that really represents fearlessness, just going for it, going towards whatever you're dreaming, whatever you're facing. Letting the fear, like in this image, he's actually wearing the serpent kind of like a belt, and it looks like the serpent's still alive. It's kind of like, it's not like he's like killed it and put it as a belt, but it's almost like it's just like a friend, you know, it's just like there and present, and kind of like I'm almost like a familiar for this magician, you know, this friend who's there to remind them to embody the characteristics of the snake, this ability to be like sleek and fast when needed, but pull back and retreat when needed. Know the difference of when it's time to strike and when it's time to retreat, when it's like how to, it's funny because we do pull and we want to be kind of bendy like a snake to wiggle around and be able to get ourselves in all these crazy positions. So I really love the energy around snake. Do you know what snakes represent?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you. Like jumping into the snake, it's Kundalini energy. Right? So it's like if you look at the chakras, like the chakras go from the root to the crown. And it is said that it's when Christ is coming, like the second coming of Christ, that the Christ will rise, but it's the Christ consciousness within us that will rise. How? By pulling this life force energy that goes from our root chakra. It kind of like goes through, like you said, coils. Like a coil around our spine, up to our 33 vertebrae, and up to our pineal gland, like traverses the pineal gland, opening up the pineal gland, which is our third eye, and then shooting up through the crown chakra, which connects us to the cosmos, to the infinite creator source, right? God, you can call it that energy. So when our channels are open and when we raise our Kundalini from the bottom to the top, then we can see, we can open our third eye, and then we see everything. We see the truth. We are able to discern. We are connected to the heavens and to the earth. So that's what Kundalini, that's what the serpent really represents. It's that life force energy
from
earth
all
to all the way to the
material
heavens. And that's where we can see the truth and become who we are. You open up all your psychic abilities, everything, and you embody that Christ, what Christ came to teach, that love and that compassion, and at the same time that like the supernatural abilities that he had to heal with the power of his word, with the power of his touch. Those are available to us if we are disciplined in the practice of meditation and learning how to breathe and nourishing our bodies properly and showing love and compassion for brothers and sisters. So that's what he came to teach, and he embodied. So he had all his channels open, because it was through those practices that he was able to raise his life force up to these 7 chakras. Because what it said is that nobody knows what happened to the life of Jesus between the ages of 13 and 33. And it is said that those years he spent in India learning all these techniques, meditation.
So theory.
Yeah. Which doesn't seem so crazy, right? If he was able to meditate for days and fast for days and really bring himself to this state where he could just walk on water and turn, like the miracle of the water turning into wine, and it's alchemy, going back into the alchemy that we were saying before. How to be able to transform elements in, like, using these supernatural abilities. But that's themes for another podcast. But it's life force energy, like that Kundalini rises.
And it's very interesting because in the card the snake is wrapped around the waist.
Yeah,
so kind of at the base.
It's not a coincidence, because like that's the theory, that this life force, like this Kundalini energy, is stuck in our root chakra because of all the trauma that we've experienced in our lives, and everything, like all the things that we've suppressed, we haven't allowed this life force to rise up, to really flow. It's all blocked because of our traumas, because of our programming, because of societal conditioning. So as long as we remove all of that, we are able to let the life force move through us.
Snake rise.
Raise snake, yeah.
Raise the snake.
Raise the snake.
So I do think, with what you said, incorporating that into what I'm seeing, I really think that this is a time to become aware of that Kundalini energy within us, and be open to allowing it to flow freely, and opening those channels. And then there's also beautiful like roses all around, so just like blooming flowers, everything is very, very positive and growth. I can see that this is a time for working towards our goals and seeing growth in that direction wherever we put our energy. And then again, finishing with the 8 of Pentacles. Again, eights. Are there any infinities in here? It's like a half of an infinity sign.
I think the wheel, does it have 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So there's 8 different symbols around the wheel. So then 8 is repeated again and again in each card. And the 8 of Pentacles, as I mentioned before, I really see this as a representation of mastery and working towards, again, this kind of repeating pattern, working towards what we want to create, and having discipline, I think, is just the biggest thing, because this character, he's kind of depicted as just, a guy who's just sitting, repeating the same thing, right? He's just making these coins over and over and over again, and it's nothing fancy, it's nothing spectacular. It's kind of like how you mentioned going to the gym. It's just putting in the work that needs to be done, and the result of that is everything that you can ever dream of or imagine will come from just having that discipline and doing the boring thing and the fun thing, but like not being afraid to do those repetitive tasks that often we think, I don't feel like doing that. I just want to have fun. I just want to play. I just want to do the fun stuff. Sure, that has its place too, but I do think we have to be open to holding space for discipline and doing the things that are less fun, but will lead us to the goals that we're thinking of what we want to achieve.
Yeah, and also if extrapolating it to like a beyond human experience, like the human would be like the goals and putting in the work. I think from the greater sense of life or the meaning of life, now that I'm seeing it from this perspective, you said mastery, right? So that's what we came here, that's what we're here for in this lifetime, in this human form, to become masters of life by alchemizing everything that comes our way. by being able to be the master of our emotions, being the master of our thoughts. And that is the true mastery, when you're able to achieve these, the magician, to be able to transmute and navigate the wheel of life seamlessly and with ease and with grace. That's what you came here to learn. Like, that's the goal of the human incarnation, I guess. Like, that's true mastery. When you're like stoic, you're like, yeah, nothing touches me, not the comments from the haters saying like, why should I do pole? Like, what are you doing? I'm like, yeah, I'm just doing me.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm a magician. I do what I want. I love that. Beautifully said.
Yeah.
So is there anything, before we finish, is there anything that you would like to share about where you see yourself in the future? So where do you see yourself 5 years from now, going forward with your journey with pole and just in life in general?
I see myself doing pole until the day I die. Like an old lady, still like
I'll be
jack, like super jack lady, like climbing the pole.
Yes.
And also leading these healing circles all over the world, like a traveling magician, or traveling.
Come to Ecuador.
Yes.
We'll do a retreat.
Yes, we'll do a healing and pole retreat.
Yes.
Yeah, doing like these different healing retreats and going around, not only teaching but as a student as well. Yeah, spreading the healing into all the corners of the world, because we all need it. Humanity needs to heal so that we can transcend this division that we're living in this world, and transcend all this duality that is being imposed. Yeah, it's a dual world, but it's people taking sides and fighting each other over things that transcend really like our humanity, because at the end of the day, Muslim, Palestinian, Jewish, black, white, red, yellow, we're all human. So we can see beyond the labels and the shapes and the forms and the colors, and just be aware that we are human and we're all in this together. I think all of our wars would end, and even the war within would end. So that's what I see myself doing, helping humanity achieve that state of higher consciousness.
It's a tall order, but we can do it.
We can do it, while at the same time having fun.
Yes.
With the pole.
Yes, maybe, what do you think about if we finish by you showing us a pole move of the day, whatever you want. Something on the pole. Are you down?
I'm down.
Just think of like one shape that you like, that you just feel like,
okay,
now is the time.
Yes, butterfly.
Woo!
No, wrong leg.
Today our guest is Georgette Damian, who is a philanthropist, published author,